caravan, and this is what you get when you get appendicitis. A nice aeroplane flight and an ambulance ride. Well, what a week we have had. Where are we? We're here at Edithburgh at the moment, and we've been here for, to me, I've been here for a couple of days, but apparently we've been here for a couple of weeks. We've had a bit of an adventure. We've had a bit of a week. So just want to fill everyone in on what happened, what we done, and thought this is a perfect opportunity to let you all know. So what happened? So I had to be airlifted out of here and have emergency surgery for my appendix. So that's the story of it. But how that come about, Tuesday morning, I got out of bed feeling pretty good, and I had breakfast, felt a bit funny, thought I might just go put my head down for a little bit. Then I got worse as the day went on. So Loretta had to work. We're in Loretta's office at the moment. So Loretta had to work. So I'm lying on the bed in all sorts of pain. My pain level was at about a 7 out of 10 at this stage. So it was pretty bad. And Loretta ended up going and getting me some
stomach cramp tablets from the chemist.
Stomach cramp tablets, who knows? I don't know, but they didn't work.
Yeah, nothing worked.
So that wasn't too good. But anyway, we got through that. Loretta had dinner that night and then went to bed. I was still in a bit of pain. And
a lot of pain.
A lot of pain, yeah. And then I thought I'll get through this. I'll get through tonight, and then maybe Wednesday morning, if I'm still feeling the same, I might go maybe see a doctor or something. But we didn't make it that far. So 3 o'clock that morning, I woke Loretta up, tapped her on the shoulder, and I said, Loretta, this ain't good. We need to do something. So here we are. We're travelling Australia. We're on the York Peninsula. And
with no family, no friends, no nothing around. Don't even know where the closest hospital was to start with. So I had to Google. So
yeah, so
interesting.
Didn't know anything. So we finally found somewhere, which is Yorktown. They've got a 24-hour hospital there. When I say a hospital, it's they've got 2 nurses there, which are absolutely amazing, and they assess you, and then if they can't help, then they call the doctor in. And obviously they couldn't. We got there. That was a rough trip.
Yeah, yeah. It's about 15 minutes from where we're staying. So yeah, there was a lot of
bumpy roads.
He wasn't doing well.
No, for sure. And 3 o'clock in the morning, it was still dark, and spotlights were on, so plenty of lights on the road. I do remember that part. We got there, and they got me in. They assessed me. They called the doctor. The doctor come in, and straight away he was giving me morphine, I think, at the time.
Yep.
And said, no, it looks like you've got appendicitis. And they were doing rat tests and all sorts of other tests from other different holes of my body, and which at that point I was in a bit of pain. I was probably at about a 10 out of 10 at this stage. So he gave me some pain relief, gave me that morphine, which was good, and said, no, it looks like you've got appendicitis, so you're going to have to go to Adelaide Hospital. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, rightio. it's about 3 hours. This isn't going to be a good trip. So, all right, Loretta and I will go and get some clothes and we'll head off to Adelaide Hospital. He said, no. He said, you're going to be airlifted out of here from the Royal Flying Doctors Service. And I was like, wow. So sort of alarm bells started going off in my head. We hadn't had much sleep at that stage. So then it was all systems go from there. So they dosed me up again. The paramedic turned up. I think his name was Damien as well. And he was really good. So Damien, if you're watching this, mate, thank you. You told me when the bumps were happening and all sorts of things. So, yeah, that was good. You got me to the airport, so that was great. Loretta left me and she come back to the caravan. And what was going through your mind?
Yeah, it was sort of mixed emotions because here you are there sending your husband off to somewhere that you have no idea about anything basically. So I came back to the van, and I guess what highlighted for me was that we really hadn't talked about emergency plans or packed emergency bags or anything before we actually left, because I didn't really think it was that severe. Clearly I was wrong. But yeah, it sort of highlighted that, yeah, you need to know where your important documents are, which we did know where that was. Something I found really difficult was actually packing bags. So I had no idea how long I was going to be away for, how long Anthony was going to be away for. Like, I knew obviously he was in hospital, but I didn't know what he needed. So yeah, that was sort of a weird challenge that I would never have thought of in an emergency, about having to remember how to pack a bag. But it just goes to show you, when you're stressed, everything goes out the window. You can't think properly. So then I also had to remember to put the rubbish out in the van, because we didn't know how long we were going to be there. Make sure everything in the fridge was going to be okay, because we may be a week, a day, who knows. So I packed up the van as much as I could. Yeah, pretty much had it so we were like a travel day, just in case something major was going to happen and someone else had to move the van for me. So it was a lot to take in, because you also thinking, okay, what's happening with Anthony? Like, where is he? What's happening? So yeah, it was pretty stressful.
Yeah, but it was stressful. But like you said, it goes to show, like, even just a quick scan of, even though we were spending time here on the York Peninsula, just knowing where your emergency departments are, knowing how far, like a little 24-hour emergency place in Yorktown was absolutely fantastic. And knowing where that was, and it wasn't that far, just knowing where it is. So I think they're little things that you need to know and sort of just jot down. It doesn't take long to have a look in Google Maps or even on the information centres. It doesn't take long at all. Rightio, from there I got to the airport. The Royal Flying Doctors was there. And can I just say, those guys that fly those planes, they should fly commercial planes because they know how to land a plane. So I reckon this guy landed on a bit of silk. That's how smooth the landing was. So it was really good. I was in the back of an ambulance, and I think I've got a bit of footage there anyway of me in the back of an ambulance. And getting onto the plane, we got on the plane. Yeah, it was a little myself, the RFDS, a quick trip, 20 minutes from here. I think it was. Again, my memory gets a bit foggy from here on in. But we got to the Royal Flying Doctors Service in Adelaide, and I was ramped there for a little bit because they're waiting for someone to come and pick me up. Again, pain relief was still happening. And then the paramedics come and pick me up. The two ladies, they were really good. They transported me to Adelaide Hospital. And this was at about Wednesday lunchtime,
Yeah, about 1:30.
1:30, yeah.
Yeah.
By that time, Loretta had already made it to Adelaide, so that was a good 2.5, 3 hour trip. And if I know Loretta, she probably done it in an hour and a half.
Nah, not at all.
So we sat on the ramp with the paramedics. My pain level was still at a 10 at this stage, and they're still giving me pain relief every hour at this stage. A doctor came out and seen me and said, yeah, you need to be looked at. So they got me inside. I don't know what time they got me inside at all, but she said, you're not too good, are you? And I said, no, my pain level's still at 10 and it's going to increase, I reckon. And they got me in for a CT scan. And while I was in the CT scan, they make you lift your arms up and they put the contrast in your veins and put it through your system. So when you have a CT scan, they can see what's going on. Well, when I was in the CT scan, I felt my appendix rupture. It's a pain that I will never forget. Never forget. My pain level went from a 10 to about a 15 in a matter of moments. So they done the scan, and then at that stage, the contrast, look, I don't know if it's coincidence, but it popped out of my vein when my appendix burst at that time. And I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but it wasn't pretty. It wasn't the best feeling I've ever had. So they had to do the CT scan again. So I had to stay in that position for quite some time. So my pain level was at that 15. It stayed at 15 and it was going up. I got back to the waiting, my waiting.
Yeah, in emergency.
Yeah, an emergency there. The doctor seen me and I was screaming. And I said to her, they've ruptured or something's gone on. And at that stage, then she turned to Loretta.
So the test results at the same time had come through. The radiology people had looked at the scans and saw how bad it was. So they rang the doctor straight away to let her know that it was a severe case, that it was emergency. The doctor comes in to me and has all these forms to fill out and said, Anthony's having surgery. And then she goes on to say, have you talked about end of life plans, CPR, life support, all that type of thing? And immediately you just panic. Doesn't matter whether you've talked about it or not, you just freeze basically, because I'm sitting there going, okay, yep, I know his appendix burst. People's appendix burst all the time, but why are you now telling me that my husband could be needing CPR or life support, sort of thing? So that was a big shock, and I guess that was something I had to quickly process because forms needed to be signed and everything like that. Something it's good to note as well, those discussions actually in South Australia, they have to do that with every surgery. So it wasn't that Anthony's surgery was emergency. It was, life-threatening, stuff like that. But those conversations can happen with other not so urgent surgeries. So just keep that in mind. If you're ever traveling in South Australia and an incident happens, try not to freak out if they start asking you those type of questions, because take it from me, it's definitely not something that you ever want to hear someone say about your husband.
Yeah, I'm sitting there I've got that much pain relief in me that I'm still at a 15 pain level and it's still increasing, and I'm hearing these conversations and I'm just like, yep, just do whatever. I need something done. We had the best experience. I had the best experience Well, we had the best experience.
Yeah.
From all aspects of the whole process. Probably except from one doctor. At this stage, I think it was the night doctor come in and he looked at me. He just looked at me. He was in the room for about 30 seconds, if that. Not even 30 seconds. He was in the room, he looked, he went, "You aren't sick enough, you're not getting operated on tonight," and walked out. And the first doctor that's looking at me saying, "You're being operated on tonight," was in shock. Yeah, that doctor just couldn't believe it. That the night doctor said I wasn't sick enough. So she, at that stage, she turned to me and she said, "Now this is at Wednesday
night.
Wednesday night. What, 5 o'clock?
Oh,
I don't know.
A bit later. I don't know. I lost track of time that
Yeah.
day.
So this is Wednesday night, and the doctor turned to me and she said, "Anthony, whatever you need, we will get through the night." So from then on, I was having pain relief every hour, and it was the most you could ever. I think it was the most you could ever have. I was in that much pain. So, and my pain stayed at a level 15 all the way through the night. I didn't get any sleep. Loretta had to go and book accommodation somewhere.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
how'd you do that?
So, in amongst
I don't know how she done that.
in amongst the chaos, here I am on my phone trying to find somewhere to stay for the night. Adelaide is in the middle of a massive festival at the moment, so everything's booked out or super expensive. But luckily, I was able to get into a motel, and yeah, I got to say they were amazing the whole time I was there.
Yeah, cool. I knew it was pretty close. Loretta said she got somewhere pretty close, so I didn't care where she got really. It was just a matter of making sure that she had somewhere to stay as well. So 3 hours from the caravan, you don't want to be travelling 3 hours every time you want to come into the hospital. So that's at another point. What do we do? Does Loretta move the caravan? And everyone, I see people out there all the time that only one person's towing the van, the other person doesn't know how to tow the van. Loretta's had to. Funny, it was me again. I was really crook one Christmas and Loretta had to tow the caravan. I've broken my foot, Loretta had to tow the caravan. So I was quite confident in Loretta moving the caravan. I don't have an issue with that. And Loretta doesn't have an issue in moving the caravan. So, making sure that both of you can tow the caravan is really, really important.
Yep, definitely.
Come to Thursday morning, I'm still in pain. It was 5:30. Sorry about that, camera change. Where were we? Thursday morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30, whatever it was. The nurses come in and said, "Anthony, good news, you're the first cab off the rank." So first one for surgery. So here I am thinking, beauty, my pain level is still at a level 15 at this stage. And they said, look, surgery won't be until about 8:30 because that's when surgery starts. So, but just to let you know that prep's going to happen and you're going to be the first one down there. And they were right. I was the first one down there. The nurses come in and seen me. I think Loretta tried to call to see what was going on. And then they asked me if I wanted to walk to the phone. I was like, no,
There was a bit of miscommunication there.
business, yeah, just a little bit. So, I remember going downstairs and the doctors putting me under and they didn't muck around with it either. They didn't get me to count back to 10 or nothing like that. They would just see you when you wake up, Anthony. So I woke up in the morning, or woke up after surgery. I did have a bit of trouble waking up. They couldn't find any veins on me. I was severely dehydrated. All my veins had collapsed. I think I had a doctor or a nurse come in after I woke up, and they got me back into my room. I had a room upstairs. The nurses kept on coming in. They were trying to give me another line, but they just couldn't find it. I think one doctor tried 6 times in one arm. Then they had to get the actual surgeon to come up and put another line into me because I was severely dehydrated. But then now it's time for recovery from here on in. So generally for anyone out there that's had an appendix operation, you're pretty much in and out the next day and maybe overnight, maybe an extra night, and then you're away again. But I was in there for a week. So it was that bad that I was in there for a week. I'm still in some pain. I've been back in the van now for 2 nights.
Yeah.
So I'm still in a bit of pain now, and it's just time for recovery now as well. So from there, when I woke up, my phone had, I can't tell you how many messages were on there. But it was people offering help, people that we'd only just met, wanting just to let us know that they were around if we needed them, if they wanted the van moved.
Yeah, it was amazing. Even for me, like people were messaging me, double checking on me, making sure that I was eating.
She wasn't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think my first break I got away was 36 hours into the whole ordeal. So yeah, that was no sleep, no nothing. But yeah, that's something I guess if you do happen to ever go through an emergency like this, if people are wanting to help, let them help. I know I'm very guilty of trying to do it all myself. It's all good. I know what I'm doing. But it gets to a point where you just go, I need a break. I need some sleep. I just need to walk outside. So, yeah, let people help you. Also, make sure you look after yourself. You need to eat because you need to be strong, because once your loved ones get home, that's when it's still hard as well, because you've got to do everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, so the amount of messages was just amazing. Special thanks to Mum. Where'd she come from? Tassie. She flew all the way from Tassie, surprised us. So that was really good just to have someone apart from your loved one, your husband or your wife with you, someone else, a family member with you, it's really good. Yeah. Yeah, just thanks to all the doctors, nurses, RFDS, everyone who offered to help, all the well-wishers. We got back to the caravan park. Some friends of ours had sent us a bunch of flowers and a bottle of wine. I haven't had the bottle of wine yet. I'll wait for that one and drink it with you. The wine's for Loretta, the flowers were for me.
No.
But yeah, no, it's a bit of a rough time, but yeah, special thanks to the caravan park here at Edithburgh, Damien and Sarah, just amazing people. So thanks a lot, guys. And apart from that, just want to say thanks to everyone, and we're looking forward to our new adventure coming on.
See you on the road.
See ya. All right, we're going to finish it off here, this episode, but just lastly, I just want to give a shout out to Damien and Sarah from Edithburgh Caravan Park. These guys were absolutely amazing. I know what I went through, but what Loretta had to go through as well. We had the van booked in here. We didn't know how long we were meant to be here for. It was no issue for Damien and Sarah to accommodate us, and they really looked after us. So we just want to give you guys a shout out. Thanks, guys. It was probably one of the most easiest experiences that we've had to deal with, and not to worry about the caravan. It was nice and safe here in the caravan park, and we're definitely going to be back here again. Edithburgh Caravan Park, you can use it as a base. You can come here, leave your caravan here. You can spend day trips down the south of the York Peninsula. So yeah, just a shout out to you guys. Thanks, Damien. Thanks, Sarah.